What's going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it's been a long, hot day, but I'm back with inspiration, motivation, y'all. We had a nice live today. It ran a little behind, but we got it in. So shout out to everybody who came through. We talked about a few things, basically talk about Shedeur's future in the NFL, because it's still an ongoing thing. You know, looking at what's going to happen with mini camp, but also just looking at how things played out. It's been longer than expected, and it's been very dramatic, to say the least. But like I said, anybody benefited from is Colorado Buffaloes. The heat is off of them, mainly because I guess Shedeur is there. Maybe that's where all the heat was. You know, it was on Coach Prime and his kids. Coach Prime has been away, and it's been pretty quiet when it comes to Colorado, and I think they're definitely going to benefit. I think it's going to be a good team, and I talked about that. But, you know, one of the things that people keep saying to me, and it makes sense. I mean, logical. If we're dealing with logic, Shedeur wouldn't have been a fifth-round draft pick, especially since everybody else he was associated with in that mock draft, they pretty much went within 1 or 2 spots of what they said it was done. He's the only guy anywhere near the first round or the first 5 picks that ended up 5 rounds back. Like, that's just unheard of. Something definitely happened. And we just talked about, like, why would any team not want Shedeur? He has such a big brand. He's such a good person. He's done so much. And I talked about maybe that's intimidating to these teams. Maybe it's intimidating to the NFL. I mean, it's a new thing. You have a brand. You have money in your family. It's like, you know, maybe they want a certain type of guy who's more pliable. I don't know. You know, he doesn't need them as much. He doesn't need them to build his brand. He already has one. So it's like, I don't know what it could be, but it's something in that ballpark. It's something around in there, because it's like he sells tickets, he sells merch. Like, what is going on with why they don't want Shedeur? And anybody in the right mind, in the other situation, it would make no sense. It would be clear that this would be the best guy. I mean, he's going to sell out your team. He's going to sell out your games. He's going to bring the fans. They're going to buy the jerseys. Everywhere. Matter of fact, you're not going to just sell out the home games. You're going to sell out on the road. It's a proven track record with that. He did it at Jackson State. He did it at Colorado. And clearly, he's about to do it again. If he's playing, his folks going to support him. So it's like, if they're about making money, what's that? Clearly, they're about making more than money. Because, I don't know, it's deeper than that. I mean, because Shedeur is a brand. He already has Delta. He already has Gatorade. He already has so many brands. And he's going to get more because he has the following. Even like little old me, I was telling him earlier, I have a small channel. It's engaging, whatever. And you start doing videos and people will send you stuff to say, hey, could you promote our stuff? Not, you know, kind of sponsor. Sometimes they pay you, sometimes just products, exposure, but it's certain perks when you build a brand because they know you bring a certain amount of eyeballs. Bring a few little eyeballs, he bring millions. So it's a given. These people are not dumb. These people are aware how this thing works. I mean, they know that Shedeur brings eyeballs. They know more than anybody. They got statistics. They got all the data they need. They're not dumb. These are billionaires, and they've done it 100 times over with their companies. So we're not going to insult their intelligence at the end of the day. So it has to be deeper than money. For a long time, we thought it was just about money. I think people default to everything is money. And they don't even realize that money itself is not the thing. Money is the bait. Money is the carrot. What people really want is control. You know, people use money to control you. They use money to get you to go to work. Money in itself has no power, but it make you move your feet. Well, I can't say if you don't move your feet, then I don't eat. So we like net to net. They got to find a way to motivate you, the millions of the masses, you know, to come to the football games, to go to your job. That's what all this big advertising is about. How to mobilize your money. You go to work, get money, and they want to find a way to get all your money out your pocket. That's their ultimate goal. They want to get your money. So why do they need your money? Because it's a cycle. That money gives them more influence and more leverage to get more mobilization. Because what good is money without mobilization? If you're a big corporate company, if you don't have nobody to move your product and make your product, and then ultimately they're going to sell it to somebody else who's working for somebody else to buy the product. It's the one big circle. It's the circle of life. And that's where it gets deep. You know, we had some deep conversation on Thursday, and people are like, they ain't quite at that level. I understand. It's deeper than what you think. You know, sometimes you like on the surface, you think you like way out there. And I ain't, this is basic right here, what we're talking about. But sometimes people are like, yeah, it's the money, yeah, it's that. And it's like, well, what is the purpose of money? Money is only as good as what it can make you do. If money don't move you, money got no power. If money don't make you show up to work, they got to find something else to do it. Because at the end of the day, you are the product. You know, when they have these big football stadiums and these games, and they got this viewership, if you don't watch that game, what good is their money? If you don't buy the tickets, what good is their money? You're going to have to either be there or watch it, or they got some problems. They can't do no advertising. Advertising ain't advertising with you. I just said. They looking at what eyeballs you bring. That's why I go back to Shedeur. Because that's going to sell, not only, it's going to sell advertising. It's not just going to sell jerseys. We seen it with Coach Prime with the TV spots and all that, and they would send them up with it. But, you know, they use that, oh, you got the prime time slots because everybody want to see you. There's no other games going on. There's always other games going on. I mean, it's too many channels and too many games. But that's how I told you. I exposed that lie a long time ago. But the whole thing is, you got to bring the eyeballs to the TV or whatever, because, you know, TV's a thing now. It's not the game. It's TV deals. You know, you hear that with Bit 12, Bit 10. Everybody's about the TV deals. They got them bit TV deals because that's what the advertisers want to be. The advertisers want to advertise because they need you, the people who watching, to purchase those products. And then, like I say, it's one bit cycle, expansion, cycle. And then the products in itself sometimes even be part of something in itself, you know. We looking at what we eating, what's going on with this, is that, it can't be good for us. And then it's feeding us a whole nother ecosystem that you know, you can dig around and maybe you figure out later. But that's a whole nother conversation. At the end of the day, Shedeur is a eyeball magnet. He is a brand of brands. He's attracting other brands. So again, what would be your excuse not to want him on your team? You can't say that he's not going to make you money. You can't even say he's not going to win you games, but you ain't even trying to figure it out. The question would be, why wouldn't you want to figure it out if you're in it for money? You got this big football team, big stadium, you're trying to pack the stadium out, and you don't want to put the guy on the field that's going to pack the stadium out. That lets you know a whole lot for an organization that's typically about money. So then that tells you something. It's something higher than money. You know, pride. Does it sound like good pride? I don't know if it is a good pride. But pride is higher than money. Their pride is more important than money. They're not going to bend down. You as a person, like we talked about, I said, with Diddy and Tyler Perry and all that, some people will go through some weird stuff for some money. They will bow down to some stuff, make them very uncomfortable, and do some weird stuff for money. Whereas these wealthy people, it's kind of the opposite. They won't bow down for money over their pride. Their pride about who you think they are and how you're going to see them and how they're going to see you. They will bypass money to maintain that. Are you not seeing that? All the money Shedeur can bring them, all them teams turned on them. They basically saying, forget your money, forget you. Forget the money we give you. We can get money to anybody else. We keep our money. We can make money another way. But something that's it's more valuable. And it's our pride. They're full of pride and ego. And some about Shedeur, Coach Prime, whatever, it rubs them the wrong way. So here you go. We ain't giving you no money. We ain't giving you no influence. We ain't giving you nothing. That's basically what they're saying. Imagine that. That's what we're looking at. And that's really what we're trying to figure out. Like, what's going on? This is different. Maybe because you're looking at it through the wrong lens. It's bigger than brands and dollars. Maybe it's another level you need to look into, because they wouldn't let all that go. So other people say, oh, they ain't no good. He ain't no good. You know, he ain't all that. He ain't this and that. Y'all over there. That's why he 5th round. Since when he been 5th round? So that kills that argument. But they want to say, oh, it's just. Then why lie in the first place? Why was he ever mentioned in the top? What was that, a joke? I don't know, y'all. Something is fishy. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. In the meantime, between time, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. You can comment. Got more stuff coming. I'll talk to y'all soon.